Welcome to Connecting Greeks, a streaming comedy show and podcast designed to explore and enhance Greek culture around the world. Join hosts Angelo, Ari, and Foti as they bring you fun and interesting guests from all walks of Greek life. Grab a kafedaki and join us.
Hey everyone, welcome to another fantastic episode of the Connecting Greeks podcast. I'm Ari and I'm here with two of my favorite people in the whole world. And we also have a special guest today. So maybe three of my favorite people in the whole world. Who knows? We'll see. But before we get to it, let me introduce Foti Stamos. What's up, Foti?
Ari, how's it going?
It's going well, man. I'm excited about tonight's episode. This is a talented guest. But before we bring her on, and speaking of talented, let's bring on Angelo.
Angelo, how are you, brother?
And speaking of no talent, let's talk about Angelo. Hi, guys.
What's up, Angelo?
How are you guys? So you're in Washington today?
I'm actually in Boston.
So you're both in Boston.
We're both in
and
Boston.
I'm on a ship off Catalina Island. And
Catalina?
this is the way this is the new world now. We're all over the place. And if you've kept an eye lately on TikTok and internet and even Facebook, our guest has amazing content. She's an actress. She's a filmmaker from San Francisco. We run into each other once in a while. Could be she's living in LA now, and we sometimes see each other at church at a special event whenever something is going on.
You bumped in her at Anastasi because you went to church, you said?
Probably Anastasi, because we either go to church at Christmas or Anastasi or a festival or one of those things, right? But I love her videos. She's multi-talented. She creates contact. She makes films. We seem to miss each other in New York or San Francisco or wherever, Toronto, wherever it could be. But I really like her stuff, and she's very talented. And I thought she'd be a great guest to have on the Connecting Greeks show. So having said all that, welcome to the Connecting Greeks podcast, Arianna Papalexopoulos. Welcome, Arianna.
Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Foti and Ari. It's so great to be here. So excited to chat with you guys today.
That's great. Now, Arianna, your stuff, I always watch your stuff online. And we've known each other for a few years now. And I remember when you're just starting to stuff, and you're a busy girl. Like, you're busy. I see you in New York. I see you in San Francisco all the time getting this stuff. In Greece, you did a lot of stuff, and you're basically, which I think is really cool, you're making it look easy, but I know you work really hard at this. This is not easy because, I think people watch content or they watch stuff and they think, oh, she's doing all, but I mean, you're setting up stuff in stores. You're playing your Thea. You're playing your mom. I know your dad's obviously Greek. Your mother's Italian. It comes out really nice.
Yeah.
You play different characters. I really like your stuff a lot. I think you're hilarious. You're very, very, very talented. And where did because the way interviewers ask you what's your inspiration, but do you find is it just moments when you go out, you meet people, things happen, you watch things? Where do you get the ideas to maybe? Because I like the one you did when you went into the store in Greece with the guy when you're playing the American Greek tourist. And then the guy's playing. I like that because that's how they are in Greece.
Thank
Did something like that actually happen?
Totally. Okay, so first of all, Angelo, thank you so much for these kind words. I mean, coming from you, the Greek goat of comedy, right? It's funny. It feels like we haven't known each other that long, but we've really, I think the first time we met was probably like 10 years ago here in LA. I think one of the, I don't know, LA Greek film festivals or food festivals, whatever. Yeah. And I remember, I was just starting out. I had just graduated. I studied theater at UCLA. And someone was like, that's the comedian. That's Angelo. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go right up and talk to him. And you were so nice to make everyone feel like very special. And I remember taking like a really big liking to you right from the very beginning. And every time I run into you, whether it be at the LA Greek Film Festival or wherever it is, at church, whatever, It's always so great seeing you. So thank you so much for those, for that intro. Basically I started, like I said, I studied theater. I've always been acting since, high school, even before then. And, after I graduated, it was kind of that, as an actor in LA, it's like, what are you gonna, wait for all the rejections and waiting for someone to say yes to you right away. I was like, all right, how do I take my career into my own hands, right? Like, how can I be proactive? And so I started my comedy channel, TwinGirlPeeks, with a close friend of mine who also studied theater with me at UCLA. She was also from San Francisco. A lot of people are like, what is TwinGirlPeeks? A big landmark in San Francisco. She lived on one side of Twin Peaks. I lived on the other. A lot of people think it's like David Lynch's TV show. It's not. We kind of thought about it and we're like, let's just make it that. Then you go on YouTube and type TwinGirlPeeks incorrectly and you get Hooters girls. That's not us. But yeah, so we started the comedy channel and this was at the time when like YouTube was very, I mean, it's still very big, but this was before you were posting content on Instagram and TikTok. And my friend Megan and I I had not tapped into the Greek content yet. This was way before then. And, we were doing like 3 to 5 minute sketches and it was a whole thing. I mean, I put a lot of work into it. Like you said, a lot of people think it's just off the cuff. No, like from, taking the time to come up with the idea from conception to delivery of writing it, filming it, editing it. It's a lot of work. And thank you for recognizing that. And so when I was releasing those, it was fun. It was great, but I had not kind of found my niche yet. Right. And I remember actually it was so big. I remember I was like, Angelo shared my YouTube sketch on Twitter. You shared,
I did.
You shared a funny one of like a relationship, this guy, Joey.
I think maybe the one talking with your mom, I think you did a couple, but in the very beginning, you did relationship of this. It was called relationship instead of relationship of this guy. Right. Anyway, I was so appreciative of that, but because that was like right in the beginning of cranking out this content. And then it was actually right before the pandemic, hit. I was getting my master's in digital media, which was a really nice synergy with my 2 degrees, right? Theater and digital media, which is like brings me to where I am today. I made a sketch, of 2 people, a Greek American girl and an American dude on a date. And he's like, yo, that's so awesome. Do you speak Greece? Cause we've all been asked that before, right? Like, do you speak Greece? Do you believe in Zeus? And it was based on, like you say, like, where's the inspiration? Based on true stories, right? Like, just like that shit happens to us all the time. Like, people ask dumb questions. They're like, where is Greece? Is it in Europe? And you're like, okay. So it was based off of true stories. And I thought, you know what? I was like, I don't know if this one's going to hit. I don't know if like my demographic of followers will get it. And thank God I did it, because that's when I was like, oh, I can be more myself and make content that resonates with me. And I will find people that it also resonates with. Cause I think the whole time it's like, I've always been the Greek girl, as we've kind of all been, if you're raised in America as Greek. It's like, I've always been the Greek girl in America and the American girl in Greece. And I was like, I made content that was like very true to myself and not kind of like, oh, I think people will like this. I think I'm going to make this because my followers will like this. I was like, no, I like this. And that's when it just like that was the start of me kind of like really going full force with the Greek content. And I'm the only regret I have is not doing it earlier. Because then that again, like that was in early 2020. And then as I was finishing my grad degree, I was, all our social lives were stripped in the pandemic. We were at home and all I was doing was working part-time, finishing my degree and then filming content, like a ton of it. And that's when I really started tapping into the Greek community. And so that was 2020. And now 2023, I've garnered a really, really amazing community on Instagram and now TikTok. And it's been awesome. This is a very long answer to your question of where I dropped. No, it's good. It's good, Arianna, because I want, it's funny. What you said earlier, true to what you are as a person and as an artist and a performer. the one I liked that I watched was the one where when a Greek meets another Greek, the other Greek girl, you're Greek and you're with your friend. And that's happened to me many times.
Yeah.
Where, you'll be somewhere and the guy goes, I was with Russell. And then where the guy's talking to Russell, he's a Greek fan of Russell. Then he sees me. And then it's like, you're here with them. And then Russell's like, what am I, shit now? I mean, all of a sudden the Greeks connect. And then he laughed at that. And when I saw you do that, it's so accurate. It's so true. And the thing is that I think what I admire about it is the detail, because I know how hard it is. And a lot of people are like, I said, look, when somebody does this stuff, and I know you were just we'll get to it later. You're at the San Francisco Greek Film Festival. You had an entry, I believe it was a short film or something. And it's too bad we were there at the same time. And I didn't know you were there. And then I'm on the ship leaving San Francisco when I get a message. Are you here? I go, oh shit. Yeah, I was. That I'm gone because I don't have a house anymore. I just go on the road all the time. But I've heard it from other people, and I've had people forward. I know it's good when people forward me your stuff, and I'm like, bravo, this is good. And that's what I was telling Ari and Forty. I said, and the other thing I admire about you, you're not scared to take chances. And I think COVID did that for a lot of people. You're like, fuck it. If you're going to do it, because everybody wants a formula. They want to bottle the lightning. Like what works on the internet? Nobody really knows. Like you said earlier, you do it and hopefully there's an audience of our community that follows it.
100%. I mean, absolutely. I think COVID helped with that, but also just like turning 30 and being like, what do I have to lose? I was like, you know what I mean? It's like this industry being in it now for 10 years after, it's like, there's nothing to lose. Be you. Put your shit out there. Before it was like, oh, it has to be perfect. And my brother and I call LA meetings, a lot of LA meetings here, LA coffee meetings that go nowhere. Okay. Let's have a meeting to talk about the next meeting. It's like, no, like, let's do it. And that's what, you know what I'm talking about, Angelo. These guys back east are like, I don't know what an LA coffee meeting is. Come, please. We talk about ideas and nothing is executed. And I'm very grateful for my brother. I think you've met him a couple times. He's a year older than me. People think we're twins because we hang out all the time. We're best friends and we work together, and he's a filmmaker. And we graduated around the same time. He studied film at SC. I studied theater, and we've worked together ever since. I worked on many of his projects, but I owe a lot to him of how I've become kind of like this content creator generating machine now. It's such a big thanks to him, because he really gave me the confidence and also the inspiration to just, you don't have to wait for other people. Like, you can do it on your own. And, he actually, the sketch that you just referred to a couple minutes ago, Angelo, that was him. He also is like really good in front of the camera. He's primarily a filmmaker, but he had the idea. He helps me with a lot of ideas. He said, I have an idea. Jewelry store. Cause he was trying to get a pinky ring in Greece last summer. And he goes, I have an amazing sketch. I'm going to write it, and we're going to go to our Armenian friends in the valley, and we're going to film it after. Yeah. That's what we do. We have a good community here. We know the locations that we can get. Sometimes we even shoot in coffee shops and ask for forgiveness if they tell us we can't shoot there. And we just go and do it. And whereas a lot of people in Los Angeles and elsewhere, you get too much in your head and you think you need a plan so much to do it, when really it's like you need a phone, you need an idea, and you really can make some brilliant shit with that, So yeah.
But you touched on something, the guys will jump in, but here's the deal. I think people are waiting. I need the right time. And you just said something, the meetings, I've been through them. Okay, that was great. Let's meet again next Thursday. I'm like, okay, what about today? Well, we'll talk about what we talked about, so we can talk about more things we're not going to talk about. And the thing is that the nice thing about what's happened now with streaming and with media and with all these outports now that we can put our stuff out there is that you can get an audience like that. And the thing is that I know you studied at UCLA, acting, theater, improv, the whole works. Mm-hmm. You put your time in and you put it in. But the thing is, now you have the knowledge. Right. And I think, and I love the Greek attitude. That's Greek.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's Greek. It's like, oh, no, I'm not waiting for you fucking guys. I'm going to go make something happen. That's the way to be. I totally 100% agree with you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know, Angelo, years ago, we talked about, I remember you were like, do you do stand up? We got to, like, it would be great to get a female. I did stand up before the pandemic a few times, and then I haven't done it again. And just mad respect, because a lot of people, you know, having my platform grow on Instagram and TikTok, and it's a comedy channel, but I'm primarily an actor, and people just assume right away, like, when's your next show? Are you going to come to Toronto? Or are you going to, and I'm like, I've done stand up a few times. I was honored. They asked me last year to, MC the event for y'all in Astoria. So that was really awesome. And I did a bit too with, you know, I had a set, but it also was like, wow, mad respect, because it's so different and it's such a different medium. And just because I'm, you know, not diminishing what I do, because like you, it's extremely hard, and writing from conception to delivery and actually executing these videos that I make, it's like, yeah, I'm putting a lot of work into it, but it's very different from stand up. And people a lot of times are just like, just get up there. And I'm like, yo, they make it look easy. And that's what experts do, right? You make it look easy. But yeah.
I have a quick question, if I could.
Our guests on board.
Sorry that I'm on the ship and it's the captain talking right now.
Is it sinking?
Is it sinking? Are you still? Are you afloat? Do you need to get the floaties out?
Is it Captain Grease by any chance?
This is Captain for Arianna. You're on the ship. This is the captain. We're gonna have bingo at 5 o'clock in the Star Lounge at Tonight Show, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of a podcast here.
So funny.
You know, even Caroto here is all upset about it here. You know, but this is. But see, this is it's fitting that this would happen, because this is what comedy is. You're trying, like you said. Have you ever? Because we did a smoking joking podcast at a cigar place in the Valley, and it was funny because some people come inside and they would say, "Hey, you're disrupting our smoke by doing that." And I'm like, "Disrupting what? You guys aren't doing nothing. You should be listening to us. This is free entertainment for you."
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, and it's funny how, you know, it's funny because when I watch your stuff and I see, and there's a lot of, and there's some good, really good content makers, and there's other people that attempt, which is good, because everybody, you know, as you know, everybody thinks they're a comic or an actor. Yes. And people come up, they'll say, "I know they've said it to me. I know they said it to you. You should do this." I'm like, okay, well, time out. We'll get to it. But I noticed that I always end up running into it. Like we've had on the show constantly Gus. I know you're friends with Gus.
Love
and Apagorevete, Tony, and all these other guys, the Euro Queen. We've got a whole new community of people, which I think is great.
Yes.
And I always like to share it together, because there's not a lot of Greeks in the arts, but I notice now, I think a little bit, it's kind of opening up a bit. And even in Greece, I'm sure you're going to get a response in Greece, because what happened for me, and I don't know if this happened to you, some of those videos during COVID, I didn't know what to do. So my wife said, let's put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they just took off, you know, and because it's our perspective as Greeks in the diaspora,
right,
outside of Greece, to the Greeks in Greece now, or Australia, or wherever. And now they're starting to see it. But the funny thing is, you know, Fortinari, but last time I was in Greece, I was in Patra. Yeah. And I was the guy's talking to me in English. And I started talking Greek. And he kept talking in English. I go, whoa, Malaka, wait a second. I had painstakingly had to go to Greek school every freaking Saturday. I'm talking Greek. And now you want to start talking to me in English? Because I want to talk English. I want to talk Greek.
They want to.
So it's funny. Yeah. It switched. So I thought that was just funny. And
I have one question I want to ask Arianna, if I could. When you were talking before, you said your brother was trying to get a pinky ring and he came up with a skit.
Yeah.
Some really great ideas have been based on reality and true events. And I'm just wondering, do you prefer basing your skits off of reality, or do you guys like to make it up and just completely like go off the wall? Is there a preference in what you do?
That's a great question. I think, yes, most of my content, I would say, I describe it as situational comedy. And I am absolutely inspired by everyday interactions, whether it be with people here or something I heard or my phone, I have my notes app open throughout the day. I can be, usually they say too, you get a lot of inspiration from just like doing mundane tasks. So from like cleaning the dishes or even in the shower, that's why you have shower thoughts, right? Or like going on a walk. Like that's when, if you're just like doing mundane stuff, lots of ideas come to you, but also just talking to people. Like if I'm like, that is such a crazy ass person, I need to like write down some shit they're saying, or like that, even someone telling me a story about something that sparks an idea, whether that be the exact same thing, which I usually don't, it sparks an idea of like, oh, that's a character and I can create something around it. Or like another viral video that went, that hit on TikTok, which then it did well on Instagram as well, was I played like an affected LA hostess, totally based on reality. Yeah. It's like, I absolutely went into that restaurant and the girl couldn't even look up at me and had the whole LA voice on. Like, yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm like, this is material. Like, so, use it. Yeah. I definitely.
So it sounds like, you prefer to take from your life to incorporate into your art.
Yes, very much so.
They're half Greek and half Italian, so I'm sure there's a lot of resource material right there.
There really, I know there really is. My mom is native San Franciscan, third generation Italian. So, and her parents sadly passed. I was very close with them. They lived up the block. I was very in touch with my Italian side, but not as much as my Greek side, because my ancestors in Italy, it was third generation. Like I didn't have family in Italy. So I spent every summer, my dad was born and raised in Greece, born actually in Patras, raised in Kalavrita in Athens. And he came, to conquer the American dream here. He got his PhD in Atlanta, Georgia, then came to San Francisco, then met my mom. His plan was to obviously move back to Greece after he worked a few years. And then,
Is it wrong that when you said he came here to conquer the American dream, I thought you were going to say and opened a restaurant?
And opened a restaurant. No, that's right. No, very different. He had a different path. But I know, right? Most do that. But no, and so where am I going with this? Yeah, I'm more in touch with my Greek side because all of his family was in Greece, stayed in Greece, still are. And so we spent every summer going there. And that's kind of, and it's funny because a lot of people are very, I'm going to like flex a little bit, but they're impressed that like I'm very in touch with my Greek side and I speak Greek. Came back full circle. Speak Greek because I learned it at 14 years old, and I wasn't raised speaking in the house.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. It was.
Don't you find? I've said this before. We've talked about it. If like my daughter is her mom's Armenian,
yes,
and I'm Greek, and my wife says to me, she goes, I don't know what it is about you Greeks, because Armenians are a very strong culture. Italian, and I've always said it, if you mix in with Greeks, it becomes the dominant. Don't ask Pascha, Christmas, everything. Yeah. It becomes the dominant gene. Yes. And people say, what do you mean? I go, no, whether it's male or female, if you mix in, and even my wife said to me, she goes, I like going to church for Anastasi. Right. I like going to the Greek picnics. I like going to Greece. My daughter is my mother-in-law who's now passed away. She's Bulgarian Armenian, and they used to argue about feta cheese. And my mother-in-law would say, "Well, Bulgarian feta is better." And then my daughter at the time was 7 years old, going, "Grandma, feta is trademarked by Greece. It's a Greek thing. We have it first." And they would get here's my daughter and her grandmother arguing about feta.
That's
amazing. I realized she's Greek.
That's amazing.
It's so funny because even people say to me, they're like, "Well," I go, "I don't know what it is, but I think we haven't instilled pride anywhere we go. And I've been able to travel everywhere. And because, but I like the fact I love the way you do the Greek woman, your mother, the friend. But I also love your other characters. You do like that waitress, the hostess in LA, who give a shit.
Yes,
that's so accurate. You know, you walk in like the Petite Four on Sunset.
Right.
You know,
100%.
You know, like a table for three.
One thing I like to add and ask Arianna, and I'm sure gentlemen from her skits. I'm a big fan, Arianna. Hands down, I follow all of your skits. And one of the characters that you play, I think, is the Greek mom that sits back and kind of sizes up the man or the non-Greek for the potential her daughter and so forth.
Yeah.
It hits home for myself because I listen to my mom when she's trying to like size up other Greeks for my sister when she was younger or other females in our family. But having said that, in doing these skits and being able to connect that way, do you at some point feel like people come to you and kind of ask for advice for matchmaking since you're able to kind of do this?
It's so funny, right? I mean, that's such a good question. My dad actually made a joke like last week, or I think it was, last week. He was like, it's funny, you're becoming like, you're going to be giving relationship advice. And he's like, and you're single. I know, I'm playing Greek mom, giving relationship advice. And I'm single. I'm like, there's something wrong here. I know, right? No, people, I mean, like, it is funny because I am doing a lot of that content that character has morphed into someone who, you know, she's a know-it-all. She's a Greek mom. Again, I don't even have a Greek mom, but I'm drawing from different people in my life, aunt figures, close family friend figures that just have morphed into this character. But it's hysterical.
Love those kids.
So Arianna, tell us about your film that you had put in the San Francisco Greek Film Festival. Tell us a little bit about it. How did that come about?
Yes. So like I said, with my brother and I have been working on short films and features for quite a while. And about 2022, end of 2021, 2022, I decided to write a web series that was 6 episodes. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to pivot this and I want to make it a show. So I pivoted, but in the interim, I had a full 6-episode web series, fully written, collaborated with a writer friend from Greece who lives in London. And we worked together on it for all of 2022. I now have like a pitch deck, and that first episode of the web series, I wrote it and then filmed it, completely edited, done. And then I said, I'm going to submit it to the San Francisco Greek Film Festival just to see like how people respond to it. But I only submitted to that one festival. And I forgot that I submitted there. And then I got the acceptance. I'm like, wait, what did I submit there? So it's the first episode of the 6-episode web series that I'm now pivoting into.
Nice.
A show that it's in the works, but
good for you.
Very short. Thank you.
That's great.
Again, kind of because of this community that I've built and the followers that I've garnered, I was like, I got to take it to the next level now. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, that's good because ultimately that's what you want to do is you want to be able to maybe get it to a platform. And now you see, it's funny. Years ago, it was frowned upon to keep your Greek name. A lot of people changed it. 100%. And now, if you've noticed in Hollywood, they're encouraging people to keep their names. And I admire the ones like Melina Kanakaridis, who never changed.
Zach.
And all these actors, Maria Menounos. Even when I first came to LA, they said Saruka. It's kind of hard to pronounce it. Can you change it? I said no. And now with the addition of Maestro Blue on Netflix, which is now a mega show from Greece, and ironically, the chairman of Netflix is Ted Sarandos, who's Greek American.
Exactly.
Ted took it upon himself and said, "We're going to take the show." So
I know
the encouragement now is that. If they're going to do that now, they did it with another show called Money Heist from Spain. What happened during Schitt's Creek is from Canada. We're Eugene Levy.
Yes.
So what happened now with the streamers? And the streamers are taking shows now thinking it doesn't matter where it's made.
Right.
We have a platform now that's universal.
Right.
So there is what the encouragement. But ironically, that show, because Ted Sarandos is the chairman of Netflix, and people were saying, how come they don't put stuff on it? And he took this show from Greece, and I watch it. It's kind of like a soap opera kind of, I don't know if you guys have seen the show, but it's
really
like,
well done. It's really well done.
Yeah.
I think amazing. It was, again, storyline. It hooked me. I thought it was really suspenseful. I applaud the whole cast and crew. They did an exceptional job. And I think I read somewhere that Ted Sarandos actually thought each episode was like over $1 million. And I think they did it for like $375,000, which is like just a testament to like Greeks can, you have that backdrop of Greece too. And it's like, you're already, and Paxi Islands and Corfu. It was like amazing advertising for those islands. I'm sure those islands will be packed this summer.
Big time. And it's funny now because I've noticed now, even stand-up comedy has had a great movement in Greece. I went about 10 years ago when it was still infancy and filmed the special there. And now I toured there, and now they've exposed and they understand what the thing is. And with the incentives now at 40%, you can get a tax incentive back of 40% to film in Greece. So Greece has become a bit of a hot topic again.
It really has.
So it's good. It has. And that's actually excellent. So that's great. And I mean, and I always keep an eye on what's,
Angela, you said that they're encouraging people to keep their last names, but I don't think Foti would be able to keep his last name because it's not a famous name.
It's not famous. Stamos.
I don't think you'll get by with that name. Are there any famous Famouses? I don't know.
Is there any other famous Stamos? I don't know of any others.
Are you guys related at all?
Maybe,
yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
I'm kidding. No relation. No relation.
He says maybe as he takes the step.
But maybe.
I think all you have to do is look at his face and understand there's no relation.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Ari.
When I was graduating, I remember senior year, they were like, what are you going to do about your last name? And this was before, they ethnically ambiguous or any ethnicity that wasn't white was not in. Right. And now Hollywood has finally changed its course. And now it's actually very cool to have a very long last Greek name.
You're a champion with that last name.
I know. If you look at it and break it down, it's very phonetic. Papalexopoulos. But I know it's intimidating. 14 letters. It's not easy.
I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. Well, this is great. I mean, we're looking forward to more of your content.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to and you've really knocking it out of the park. Keep up the good work, Arianna. This is great. I'm gonna probably see you at some event or maybe the film festival or something.
I know we've said it so many times. We gotta collaborate. Like we will collaborate. It's gonna happen.
We got to think of something to do together because I think it'd be great. 100%. And I could do maybe play your dad or maybe play the older Greek man.
Exactly.
You're the sugar whatever. There's so many things. We've been talking about this for 5 years.
I know.
You're busy. You're busy, and I'm busy. So.
I know. But we're gonna find a way.
Angela, you can play the Greek Papu.
You're a malaka. So before we let you go, Arianna, Foti has some questions. I think I told you we always want to get to know our guests a little better.
Yes.
But thanks for coming on. Really happy. You're doing great. Keep up the good work. You're representing big time. Keep making the films and keep doing what you're doing. You're really doing a great job. I'll give it to Foti now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angelo. Arianna, this is great. It's been a pleasure having you on and listening to you. Definitely everything you mentioned connects with us, connecting Greeks.
Yes.
But as Angelo says it, we always like to ask our guests a series of questions. We always change the questions up from time to time so we get to know you a little better. So these series of questions are preferences for you, Arianna. And then there's a couple other questions after that. So starting with this, gyro or souvlaki?
Gyro.
Uto or tsipuro?
Oh.
Sipuro.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Calamari or achtapodi?
Calamari.
Yeah.
Me mia vida la tora.
All right. Frappe or Fredo?
It used to be frappe. Now it's been freddo. Yeah.
All right. Santorini or Mykonos?
I almost got like kidnapped and a really bad situation in Mykonos, so I'm a little bit scarred. Let's say, I mean, both are beautiful islands, but Santorini, let's say.
Santorini, excellent.
Romantic.
Yeah.
Growing up as a Greek, Italian American, and so forth, you say your dad had a strong presence in the upbringing of the culture. Was there anything your dad used to say growing up as a saying that still sticks with you today? Any Greek sayings that your dad would embed in your brain or just pound in your head as you grew up as a kid?
That's so funny. I was actually thinking of this the other day. I said, what can I do with this one? Every Sunday that he would wake up and get a call from Greece, from his relatives there, or friends, whatever, or when he would like stretch or go to bed or be tired, he would always go, manulamu. You know, he always say, manulamu. But a phrase, I'm trying to think of a quote. I mean, so many. And of course, I'm going to close this we're going to hang up this conversation and I'm going to think in an hour later, oh my God, why didn't I say that?
I'm sure they're playing your skits.
So many.
Right.
Maybe πες μου τον φίλο σου να σου πω ποιος είσαι. Να σου πω ποιος είσαι. Right? Tell me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. Especially in our formative years, they wanted you to hang out with them. You know, your crowd is going to inform others what you're like. So maybe πες μου τον φίλο σου.
All right, we'll go with that. That's a good one. And last one for you, Arianna. In some of your skits, I do notice that you reference as a Greek superstitious practices as a Greek. Are there any superstitious practices that you still live by?
That's great. So many. I'll give you a few. Not handing the knife to someone directly, because that means you'll fight them. So putting it down, right? Not cheers. A lot of people don't know this one. And even when my brother and I do it in Greece, people are like, even the Greeks are like, we don't cheers with our water.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And then a really crazy one that I don't think anyone knows except my close family friend who would tell this to me. She would say, instead of, we all know like carry garlic to ward off the mati. But another one was putting mascara behind the ear. I kid you not. I like did that a few times in college.
Really?
And I don't think anyone else has done that. But she was like,
I've never heard of
that. So I guess she got it from her aunt. So who knows? Those are a few.
Okay. Awesome.
The knife is one that I do to this day.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that information. Now we got to know you a little better, Arianna. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure speaking to you and having you on the show.
Thank you all so much. This was so much fun.
And Arianna, before we wrap up, you have a huge following, but just in case somebody doesn't know, can you give us all your handles, your website, whatever you want people to know?
Yes. Instagram, my full name, Arianna Papalexopoulos. You just start typing ARIANNAPAPA, I'll come up. TwinGirlPeeks for all my other social media platforms, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. TwinGirlPeeks, one word, TwinGirlPeeks.
Beautiful. All right. Once again, guys, this was a great episode. This is the type of guest we need more of because she speaks well. She has so many creative and amazing stories to tell. She's a creative and amazing person herself. These are the kind of guests I love. You do all the work for us, so thank you so much, Arianna.
You're so sweet. This has actually been one of the best podcasts I've ever been on. So thank you guys. This was an amazing conversation. Foti, Ari, Angelo. And I can't wait to meet you guys in person. And Angelo, I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All right. Thank you once again, Arianna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Foti, Arianna, once again. Everybody out there, thanks for watching and listening. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
That's us.
Bye-bye. Yes, us.